versus LSU, well, you didn't do the work. And the whole country's got to do the work.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio. It is a final. Here is Tony Bruno. Tony Bruno.
Hello there, kiddies. It's a Trucker Tuesday already. How are you today, Harry Mays?
I'm great.
Robin, how are you today?
I am hanging in there, Tony Bruno.
It was like a delayed response.
Yes,
there, Robin.
it was.
You're either good or you're bad.
Hey, you
or,
know.
as we say in Italy, mezza mezza, half and half. You know what I'm saying? We've got halftime, Harry. It is halftime in the Major League Baseball world. How about that?
Wow.
Do you realize that?
Well, yeah. I remember we were talking yesterday about some of these teams are at that 30-game mark.
Yes, they
so
are.
that would be halfway on this 60-game strange season that we're in.
Now, you got the Dodgers are 22-8. That's 30 games.
Yeah.
The Oakland A's are 20-10. They played 30. Your San Diego Super Padres are back in action tonight.
Right.
They're 18-12.
7-0 since we went on the mightier 1090.
Exactly. And even the San Francisco Gigante with the great Gabe Kapler at the controls. 14-16, Harry.
Stop.
And what's interesting to note here, as Vin Scully would say during Dodger broadcasts, we may have how many California teams in the postseason now that they have the expanded playoffs? 4! That's right. And you know what only California team would not be in the postseason this year?
The Angels.
Your Los Angeles, Disneyland adjacent Anaheim Angels, 9-21, Harry. They have played 30 games as well.
Awful.
But 9-21 is not good. And you look at that team,
Poor
and people
Mike
are
Trout.
wondering, Mike Trout and then Anthony Rendon.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, he went there. Well, he's coming off a World Series championship. At least he got his ring. Now he got paid. But Mike
Trout, he's still
Trout,
a professional hitter. Those guys are both professional hitters.
Yeah, I'm just saying this from an overall career standpoint. Like Mike Trout may never see a meaningful playoff series.
And then the question is, and I've seen it around now all over the place, who's going to be buyers and sellers in Major League Baseball, right?
Right.
And you would think, what are the Angels going to do? Listen, Mike Trout is the best player in baseball.
Yeah.
Anthony Rendon is maybe the best focused hitter in baseball.
Yeah.
And some guys, it's not just about the money. You don't think Mike Trout would like to taste a postseason?
Yeah, true. I definitely think he would. I know he would. But I'm just saying that they're not moving anybody of that ilk this season in such a weird year. I think you just sort of say, hey, we're 9-21. We're not making the playoffs because you'd basically have to go 21-9 the rest of the way to get to 30 wins to have a real chance to get in, right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen.
No.
But you're not going to just sell off big parts like that. You just say scrap it. It was a weird year. Let's reload for next year. Let's get Ohtani fully healthy, things like that.
And look, even he's not even having a good year at the plate. Forget about the pitching when he started that opening day, and then he got hurt. He's not even hitting well. So the Angels are the only California team, but how about that, Harry? That isn't surprising. Look, the Giants are bad, but they're 14-16.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many teams are worse? And they're playing in maybe the toughest division in baseball right now. When you look at that National League West, Harry, who's playing better? You look at those teams and you look at the rest of baseball. Now, the American League East with the Yankees and the Rays, but you go deeper than that. I mean, Baltimore's not any good.
Yeah, they've leveled off. They've come back to their level.
Toronto's okay.
They're okay.
Obviously,
Boston stinks.
Boston stinks.
Yeah.
So the Reds, the American League East is a two-team race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the American League Central Division. Obviously, the White Sox, obviously the Twins are the class of that. But the White Sox, they're hanging in there. They're playing better now. But when you look around baseball, you can see who the haves and the have-nots are already at the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, you look in that National League, and the Dodgers are purely the class of the National League, as everybody kind of anticipated beforehand.
Not a shocker.
It's not a shock at all. I mean, you start looking at the Central Division. Everybody, there's 2 teams above 500, and one of them has only played 18 games, and that's the Cardinals at 10-8. The Cubs have command of that division for 3-game lead, and in the East, you'd want to say, the Braves we kind of figured would be the top team.
Yeah, they're the 2-time defending champs, right? I said 3 times now. I've lost track.
And the rest of the league, the rest of that division is average at best.
Exactly. So Albert Pujols did play last night. He passed A-Rod all alone in second place on the RBI list. So you look at their roster, you look at their lineup, the Angels are not exactly the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so you're surprised and you look at them. But we have breaking news tonight, Harry. We have a postponement tonight, and it has nothing to do with COVID. Now, the Mets are not going to play tonight. Mm-hmm. That's been postponed. But the Astros game against the Angels that was scheduled for tonight, or actually scheduled for tomorrow night, Wednesday night, I should say, has been postponed because of Hurricane Laura, which is now making its way toward the Gulf Coast. And according to the latest predictions, and I go to Joe Bastardi from weatherbell.com, he's the guy that helped start AccuWeather. So that guy's legit, the Weather Channel, I should say. And he's saying that it looks like that area down there in Houston, Louisiana, that whole area in the Gulf,
right,
where Houston has been hit many times as far as, even if it's not the full-force hurricane, the amount of water that will be going into that area. So
storm surge.
The big storm surge and the heavy winds and rain. So all of our friends down there in Houston checking us out, all of our buddies down there at Sports Map Radio, the headquarters of Sports Map Radio in Houston, and all along the Gulf Coast there, people are battening down the hatches right now. Hurricane Laura moving in. So that game between the Astros and the Angels will be made up as part of a doubleheader on September 5th. In Anaheim. Los Angeles will be the home team for the first game of the doubleheader, and the Astros will be the home team for the second game of the doubleheader. As the crazy season continues, the rescheduled game will be played as part of a previously scheduled series where the Angels were playing on September 4th and 6th. So we talked about this yesterday, Harry. When you look at baseball and the teams that haven't played as many games, when they get down to the nitty-gritty at the end, once these teams start clinching playoff spots, they're not going to do what the NBA did unless a team is really, really close. Unless because of the expanded playoffs where there's going to be 16 teams in, they may look at a team that has a chance in one of these divisions when they start sorting out the American League playoff teams and the National League playoff teams. There, because you got a close race going on. I mentioned Dodgers and Padres right now are the class of the West. Rockies are under 500. The Giants are moving up. They've won 6 in a row. Diamondbacks have lost 6 in a row. And so the Giants moved ahead of the Diamondbacks now. The Rockies are hanging in there. But then you look at the rest. The Reds are having an up-and-down season. The Pirates, even though they've won 3 in a row, they're not going anywhere. And even the Milwaukee Brewers, Harry.
It's kind of a surprise.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers have been up and down. They're like playing 500 baseball. They win a couple games, they lose a couple games, so they're just hanging in there. So it's the Cubs and the Cardinals right now. And the Cardinals have played 18 games. So there are still 12 games, Harry, even though they've only played 18 of the 30 that they were supposed to have played. They've got a lot of games to make up, but here they are sitting in second place in the National League Central, 3 games behind the Chicago Cubs, and the Cubs have played 28 games. And so the Cardinals are the team right now, probably behind the 8 ball, worse than anybody, because the Phillies have started making up games. They played 24, so the Phillies are 6 games that they still have to play from makeups. And obviously the Marlins have only played 12 and 11. They played 23 games, so they're 7 games behind that they have to make up. And then the Cincinnati Reds have played 17 games as well.
That's still quite a bit, though, to make up over the course of a month.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And when you were talking before we came on, the Phillies, for example, had an off night.
They've had 2 straight Mondays off.
I know, and you're thinking, with all these games you have to make up, but I guess it's all scheduling. The problems are, how are you going to get? You're going to get a team to come in for one day and make up a game that you missed earlier, and you're going to have more people traveling back and forth. So that's what's going on.
It's a clutterbuck.
Yes, it is.
It really
and by the way, speaking of clutterbuck, Harry, we would like to thank the Philadelphia Flyers for participating.
You are already out on the Flyers after one game.
No, I'm not out, but I'll tell you what. And you know me, Harry. I'm not a homer. Do I want to see the Flyers win? Absolutely.
Of course.
But when it's this simple. You don't even have to be a hockey expert. If the Flyers fall behind in a game, they're going to lose.
That's right.
If they take a lead in the game,
chances are they can win.
They're going to win.
Yeah.
Because just like the teams are playing, and the Islanders, and if you haven't watched the Islanders, they are an incredible team. And you know what they did last night that the Flyers don't do? They shoot the puck.
regardless of having an open window.
You got a 70-year-old guy standing at the point who's got a gray beard who hasn't scored a goal in 10 years in the playoffs. Yeah, Robin, how about the off mic button when you get up and take your headsets off?
No,
it wasn't. It was a lot of noise. I was looking around to see who did it. Jesus, I had to give Robin the first one of those of the day.
Having been here for about 40 minutes before the show, I think there's going to be more of those today.
Absolutely, Harry. Well, our buddy Ryan Rothstein could not make the trip. He had a situation at home. We hope everything's all right there.
Yeah.
But meanwhile,
we got Couch Guy back today.
Couch Guy is standing.
He was out
today.
yesterday. It's like they're on a tag team here.
Yeah, exactly. Tag team's back in town.
Platooning it, yeah.
Yeah,
Is this a platoon situation?
Well, you know who gets back on the hill today for those New York Yankees? The man Garrett Cole.
Oh.
Yes.
He's still 4-0. This guy hasn't lost a decision in like 29 starts.
And the Yankees are getting healthy, you know.
They are.
You look at the schedule. You got some good matchups, Harry. We mentioned the Angels in Houston has been postponed tomorrow night. You got the New York Mets in Miami. That's a titanic battle.
Mm-hmm.
Boston and Toronto, meh. Baltimore, Tampa Bay, the Rays. How good are the Rays?
Well, it's Yankees and Braves, too. That's a good one.
Yeah, Yankees and Atlanta Braves. That's one.
Minnesota, Cleveland.
Yep. But right now, the Yankees and Braves, I believe that's going to be on ESPN every night for the rest of the week.
Is that what the programming
Whenever the
is going to
Yankees
be?
are on against a semi-decent team, they automatically they don't. You know how in NFL they do the when they do the flex scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the Yankees start playing better, they automatically flex to a Yankee game on national television. Wonder why that is.
Yeah.
And the Texas Rangers against your Oakland A's, Harry. So you look at the good teams, and I mentioned them all. And the Dodgers and the Giants, Harry, those two teams don't like each other. They're in San Francisco. Will Gabe Kapler be able to go out there and shock the world against the Doyer?
No. Where is that, Doyer?
Doyer. It's in the system here. I got to find it. I have to go back and look into the
I
Ds
love
there.
that.
Doyer. You know who that was, right?
That's Manny Mota.
The great Manny Mota. Now I got to go all the way back. I can't push my thumb that fast. I'm not one of these tweeters who can tweet with two thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
You tweet with two thumbs, huh?
Yes.
I hate to do it to you.
Sometimes I fat finger it, though.
And your San Diego Padres should feast again tonight. They're taking on the Seattle Mariners in San Diego, Harry.
Yeah, minus 200.
Wow.
Chris Paddock on the hill.
Yes, indeed.
Dude, isn't that team fun to watch, though?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Tatis, all those young guys. That's going to be a team out west I feel like is going to catch a lot.
No doubt about it. They are stacked, man. Yeah. That may be the scariest lineup in the National League right now.
Exactly.
And there's some pretty good lineups out there.
They are, yeah. They're giving those teams on the West Coast, the Dodgers and all them, Padres making a little noise. And remember, it was like Machado was the big signing, obviously. Was that last offseason?
Yeah.
But it's like having guys like Tatis coming up big, those Tommy Pham. There are a lot of good moves for the Padres.
But by the way, speaking of Fernando Tatis Jr., Harry, do you know how much money he's making this year as a rookie in the National League, what his salary is this year, minimum? Take a guess.
Let's say $400,000.
$219,000.
Wow.
His rookie card, certified Topps rookie card, sold for $226,630 at the
more
same
than he
auction.
makes.
Exactly. So his baseball rookie card is worth more than he's going to make this year. Wow. Somebody was willing to spend $222,630. $222,630. He makes $219,000. Wow. Maybe the guy who bought that card should give him $200,000 and say, dude, you're way underpaid. I know you're a rookie, but take the money now. You know who's going to join us? John McMullen. A lot of football to get to. We got baseball, we got NBA, we got hockey. We got it all covered for you. So stick around. We're just getting started. Tony Bruno, Harry Mays. As we are on Sirius XM 211, Sports Map Radio, Twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show. Yo.
Before you play your next round of...
Hello. See, it's off.
Yeah, that's the postage stamp.
Tony, can you hear me?
Yes. No, I can't hear you now.
See, it's off. This is. I had it.
I heard the headsets, Robin.
That's weird.
Maybe you took them off before you hit the button.
No.
Yeah, those damn traps over there look like when you see those war movies, you know, where the guys are in the bunkers and they're looking out over with the gun on top of that.
Yep. That's exactly what they were.
Foxhole. They're foxholes.
I'm heating up the water.
Okay. I got it 10 for early in.
Okay. Well, do you want me to turn it off?
Who's this chick here? She's thick, too.
I think that's that other German chick.
You know, the Germans, they always make good stuff.
That's the postage stamp.
Yeah.
Number 8.
So let me get this correct about the baseball player. It sounds like you should always buy your own rookie card just in case so you need to sell it to make money.
That would be insider trading, though.
Oh,
if you sold it.
for those of you who are watching on YouTube.
Get out.
We love you, we love you, but we want to see you on the Twitch side because, I didn't even turn it on. Well, that takes care of that. It was a little crazy today. Ugh. Okay. And this. Everything is all. If you can find it. What? Doyers. Oh, Doyers.
I played it.
Doyer.
That's what Petros used to do on the show all the time.
Doyer.
And then he got in trouble when the management told him, don't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see if this recording works. Ladies and gentlemen, I still have enough time, right? Yes, coming back.
Doyer.
Here, Tony, Harry.
What?
Tony, actually, you created a new account on DraftKings today, right?
I'm loaded in. I put $200 of my own hard-earned money into my DraftKings account. I used the promo code Bruno, and now I'm locked in, Harry, and I'm ready for action.
We're going to start firing?
I want to start firing right now. I'm looking at the lines. I'm looking at NBA.
Lay the number tonight. Lay the Yankees -1.5.
Now, I'm not looking at baseball. I'm looking at NBA right
baseball.
now. Who do you like tonight? Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets, -2.5 Utah, +2.5 Denver. Money line, 137 Utah, +116. With I don't think Denver's going to win, but I don't even know about the number anymore.
Are you going to try to win the $100 million
I've already
in
entered
prizes?
that contest.
Yeah.
I'm already in on the NFL contest, Harry, on DraftKings.
Oh, yeah?
And if you
get a free pick in the $100 million contest.
Yeah, the free football survivor pool.
I might take the Clippers tonight.
So all you have to do is download the app. You sign in. When you first sign in, you use the promo code Bruno, BRUNO.
Yep.
And boom, you're in. The top prize obviously is going to be for one lucky winner, but everyone who signs up and enters DraftKings free football survivor pool will receive an instant bonus prize of at least $5 in value upon entering.
Exactly.
What did you get?
I got the $5.
You got the $5?
Yep.
$5 footlong?
$5.
And
$5 foot.
check out all the other great daily fantasy contests. And DraftKings is hosting this week's basketball and golf action,
Yes.
yo.
I'm going to be firing tomorrow when we have the Tour Junkies on, Harry. BMW Championship this weekend.
Eligibility restrictions
You know
apply.
what the
See
line on the Lakers,
DraftKings.com for details.
You know what the number on the Lakers, Portland, tomorrow night is?
12.5.
-12.5.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
All excited, Harry. I got the DraftKings app up. I'm ready to fire, Harry. All kinds of great stuff. We got golf coming up again this weekend. I'm even watching women's golf from last weekend. That's how golfed up I am.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I'm watching the women play at Troon over in Scotland.
Yes.
Wearing full metal jackets because it's always cold and miserable over there.
It's not miserable. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. There's overcast. It's drizzling.
That's perfect.
Everybody's got long johns on.
That's perfect.
It's Scotland in the summertime, Harry. Come on, man.
It's great.
It's a little balmy.
Great.
It's balmy.
Put a fleece on. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. No, I love those courses, though. The Troon course that they're playing, you know, there's no fairways. I mean, you got to hit the ball on the green or you're not getting anywhere. There's a couple of spots. There's a couple of fair, but the par threes, you got to hit after. It's like playing on some of the courses in L.A., Aaron. You got to hit over brush and hope you get it on the green if it's a par three.
It's all carry,
If you
bro.
don't carry it onto the green, you ain't finding your ball, Harry. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Meanwhile, let's get it back to hockey because I was talking about the Islanders, and the Islanders right now look great. They absolutely do. Tonight, big game, Boston, Tampa Bay, Vegas, and Vancouver. Vegas and the Islanders right now, both playing great. Boston looked great the other night. Who needs Tuukka Rask?
Well,
they didn't need him.
They did
he was
look
holding
great,
them back, Harry.
But Tampa Bay had a good third period.
Yes, they did.
So they might be able to get something off of that.
Well, they're going to have to because the Boston Bruins are playing great. Vegas is playing great. And then John McMullen's playing great. He's over there at Eagles training camp. He's watching closely so that we don't have to. He's getting tested. And although now with the 77 test story from yesterday over the weekend, Harry, does John McMullen now worry about his tests coming back positive, but he may be negative, or his test coming back negative, but he may be positive? Is he afraid now when they stick that swab up his nose and go bam, and then swirl it around all the way up in his sinus cavities and pull it out, and then send it to some stinking lab in New Jersey, only to not know what the results will be, Harry?
You really got to clean out your nose before you go in there to get tested, don't you?
Let's go to a man who has the answers to these questions and so many more National Football League topics of the day. The great John McMullen, NFL and Eagles insider. John, take the robe off now. We're ready to go. Is the robe off?
You know, it's interesting Harry brings up you got to clean your nose. That was my thought process, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they yelled at me because it was too clean.
No.
They ate something up there.
Really?
It's a catch-22.
Now, what happens if you're like me, you know, and you have a little sinus condition? If I don't take my Claritin in the morning, I got to do the snot rocket thing.
Oh,
can you get off a snot rocket at the Eagles parking lot before you go in and get the swab test?
Well, they have their space deal, so I feel very sorry for those people. I really do. They're just looking up people's noses all morning.
Wow.
It's not pleasant. I can't imagine it's pleasant.
That's all
I
right.
feel bad.
We got a whole media looking up LeBron's butt every day. So, I mean, that's same thing, John. All right, so no, seriously, 77 tests, and I'm sure when you heard this, and you're there every day, you got to be thinking the same thing. How does the NFL, a multi-billion-dollar league, have all these tests done, and then they all come back positive, but then they turn out to be false positives?
Yeah, it was a problem with the lab, and it's always the New Jersey lab, of course, unfortunately. But, yeah, you mentioned 77 positives, false positives. And, yeah, my test, for instance, gets sent to that same lab. And it was interesting because the Eagles never confirmed. A lot of teams confirmed the false positives and how many people are out. The Eagles had 9 players out between 2 practices. So don't know for sure it was part of that process. But there are 10 or 11 teams hit around the league with these false positives. And, yeah, I mean, it's an issue. All you have to do is imagine if it happened during a game week.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone says, well, it's cleared up. It's the next day you're out of the facility for 24 hours. But you know these teams. And look at Buffalo with Josh Allen, their starting quarterback. If that were a game week, I mean, he's not at practice. He's not preparing for 24 hours. Even if you correct a mistake. So you go back to Matthew Stafford. That was the first one, the false positive. I think people have kind of been sold a bill of goods with these tests and the fact that they're perfect. They're not perfect. That's pretty evident. What helps is the daily testing so you can correct mistakes as quickly as possible. But they're supposed to stop that a few days before the September 10th opener. So I think this might have them rethinking that and saying we got to continue with daily testing because these things aren't perfect.
Yeah, but isn't it encouraging that they're making mistakes the right way as opposed to just telling everybody they're positive and then shocking the world and having columnists and Mike Florio and Peter King writing columns that they have to shut the NFL down like yesterday?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem. I think in a lot of ways that's the biggest hurdle of all, because if you do have a positive test and you do have a team that does have whatever, if it's 8 or 9 players that some of these teams had with the false positives, I mean, that would create exactly what you just said. That would create panic and say, yeah, there would be certain people saying we got to shut this thing down. And that public relations hurdle is something not only the NFL has to deal with, but every professional sport. And by the way, society as a whole. I mean, everybody's dealing with that. And there's a lot of bad information and there's a lot of panic when somebody tests positive.
Well, John, did that make you, when you found out about the 77 false positives, did that make you look at the 192,000 positive cases in the state of New Jersey thus far with a little bit more of a jaundiced eye?
It does, because I know the testing isn't perfect, but that was before what happened on Saturday. And especially early in the process, forget about now, but very early when you heard about positive tests, there was a lot of problems with testing. So, I looked at my own test results and looked at it a little bit closer, expecting to see a red instead of a green because of all the false positives. Luckily, it didn't happen to us. But, if you don't have daily testing, and remember, most people, and this is why I advocate, if you just have a cold and you want to get a COVID test, I don't recommend it. I really don't. Because unless you're getting daily testing, and not a lot of people have the access to that, obviously, and industries don't even have the ability to do it unless you have the financial heft of the NFL. If you're feeling okay, don't do it.
Exactly. The great John McMullen. Now, we got some big injury news today also. But the first news, let's do the positive news, people getting paid.
Yeah.
How about that Buda Baker? The Arizona Cardinals take a Washington safety, and he comes in and he's like, great, in 2 years, all pro. The Eagles take guys from the Pac-12, and they're all stiffs. What the hell is going on out there, John?
Oh, that's a shot at Sidney Jones. You're not the first one. But, hey, if you can't stay on the field, you're not going to be successful in this league. And that's been Sidney Jones' problem. But Buda Baker has turned into one of the NFL's best safeties. And you know how these contracts work, Tony. The next guy, he sets the bar for the next guy. I don't necessarily think he's the best safety in football, but I certainly think he's developed into a top 10 safety, and he deserves that contract.
And you know what he does?
The next guy.
You know what he does, John? He tackles. This guy this guy was the only player in the NFL who had 100 or more solo tackles last year. So he's a good tackler. He doesn't intercept the ball, but he rushes the passer. He has 33 rushes in his first 2 seasons. So he's a guy that you want in a safety. He doesn't have to be spectacular. Make the plays, make the tackles, and then when you got to go up and stop the run, go up there and stop the run and rush the quarterback. And, everybody looks at numbers.
Tackling's kind of a lost art in this league, and a lot of it has to do, very few live sessions in practice now. Certain teams never go live, so if you don't practice it, you tend not to be very good at it, as opposed to the old days when you had 2-a-days and you had all these live sessions, and the older players will tell you how difficult it was, but they learned how to tackle, and now it's a different game. So when you do have safeties who sort of have that old school mentality and will stick their nose in run support, it's really, really important, and they're really difficult to find.
Now, in the end, because I'm getting a lot of, tackles on, he doesn't have any interceptions. I'd mentioned that. But he does, and the other thing is, well, if your safety's making all the tackles, what does that say? That says that your linebackers suck, and they can't. If the Eagles had defensive backs who can make tackles, they would have been in the Super Bowl again one more time. Talk about bad tackling teams.
Yeah, I think people get caught up in, every team has good players in this league. And we talk about valuable positions versus devalued positions. And that's over a large sample size. Small sample size, you saw Derrick Henry. Obviously there's running back is no less valued position in the league, probably linebacker on the defensive side of football. But you have great linebackers. You have great running backs. You can still be difference makers. Again, it's macro versus micro, essentially. So if you look at it from that macro level and you say, yeah, this position isn't valued, but then you get a great player at that position who does great things, and all of a sudden you value it. And that's how the NFL is. You get good players, and you build around those players.
Follow John on Twitter at JFMcMullen. All right, John, speaking of old school safeties, anything new on the Earl Thomas front? I know that Dallas, everybody thinks he's going to go to Dallas. Some are saying New England and the Niners have interest. What's the latest here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the logical conclusion is Dallas for two reasons. I mean, that's where Earl wants to be. He's always wanted to be there, essentially as a Texas native. And Jerry Jones likes collecting big-name players, and he's a big-name player. That guy's going to the Hall of Fame. Obviously, there's issues when you look at things, how they ended not only in Baltimore but also in Seattle, so you have to do your due diligence as far as that. But, again, you look at Jerry Jones' history, he's willing to give people 57 chances, never mind second chances. So, I mean, it to me, it just makes too much logical sense, and I think that's where he's going to end up.
But interestingly enough, I was reading Jason LaConfort on CBS, and he was saying that a lot of his teammates in Baltimore did not like him at all, that he was a bad guy in the clubhouse, he was a bad guy on the field, he thought that it was all about him. And so, again, these are teammates, unnamed, of course, who were saying that, they were not surprised that he finally got in trouble, not just with arguing with a teammate and hitting him, but other stuff that was going around inside that clubhouse.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of weird, Tony and John, that, these players that play in Seattle, Pete Carroll runs a different setup up there. The players are kind of rule the roost. And then when those guys go elsewhere and they have to fit into a different culture, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Pete is a guy who's a little laissez-faire, let's put it that way. Maybe he's smoking a little bit too much, but he's had tremendous success. So he gets away with it, and rightfully so, by the way. But then you go into a situation where it's John Harbaugh, and it's going to be different. So. But even if you go back to Seattle, I mean, the enduring image of Earl Thomas is being carted off the field when he's injured and he's given the middle finger to his own sideline. Yeah. So, I mean, there were issues there as well.
You can get away with it if you're a bad guy, if you can still play. Yeah. Once you're a bad guy and you can't play anymore, they will run you out of here in a heartbeat.
And here in Philadelphia, I think it's interesting because the early parts of Brandon Graham's career, all you ever heard about was Earl Thomas and Jason Pierre-Paul, and what a mistake they made. Now you fast forward, and look, as I said, Earl's going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he was a great player, but as you mentioned, not the best guy, whereas Brandon Graham has been a great player, late bloomer, but he's the ultimate glue guy in the locker room. So now everybody's happy. How things changed so quickly in this league.
Well, speaking of the Eagles, some injury issues with the offensive line here these last couple of days, right?
Yeah, Andre Dillard was back today. He had an upper body injury. He left, I think, Sunday. So
was that a hand? Was that his hand?
Don't know officially. It looked to me like it was limping, so I said lower body. And they never tell you hockey, but they did designate upper body. Obviously, the main gist of this is it's not serious because he only missed one full practice and he was back today, and that's obviously good news. The Eagles are being very cautious with Lane Johnson. He's not seriously hurt. They're just trying to get as healthy for week one as possible. So they should be on track now with their entire starting offensive line for week one. And that's the goal. You don't have time to prepare, so you might as well get there healthy.
You know what I forgot to put on today before it came on the show? Bucket hat. It's bucket hat day around the NFL.
It is?
Bucket hats today all over training camp.
I love bucket hats.
I know. Man. I got two of them, and I didn't wear one. I didn't even wear one on the boat when I was fishing in the rain.
Man, I wish I would have known. I would have brought one. I've got a couple of them.
I got a couple of them, too. I've got my American Century one, which I love. That's my favorite bucket hat. John, are you a bucket hat guy?
If you have I have bucket hats, I didn't wear a bucket. If it's a walk-through day, you should wear a bucket hat. But we don't get that advance notice, so you never know. And today was 93 maybe. So you just got to cover up whatever way possible.
Exactly right. Now, John, we mentioned injuries, and the Browns now have lost their second-round safety, Grant Delpit from LSU. in a non-contact Achilles injury during warm-ups, and right after, a short time later, his college teammate from LSU, Greedy Williams, pulled up with a shoulder situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's the NFL. Most Achilles injuries are usually non-contact. Not all, but that's one of those injuries. A lot of ACLs are non-contact as well. Those are just difficult, obviously. You mentioned Sidney Jones at the beginning of this conversation. That's what happened to him at his pro day, non-contact, obviously. And that really changed the entire trajectory of his career. So that's obviously a very difficult injury. And it's what the NFL is. And it's always been that way. It's attrition, and whoever handles it the better. The best tends to be among the best teams in this league.
John McMullen, the other news is that a guy that you and Harry Mays and all the other Philadelphia locals were trying to run out of here looks like he's lighting it up at Raiders camp. Yes? You know who I'm talking about.
Nelson
Aguilar, apparently.
I thought you were talking about Brett Brown trying to run him out.
No. I never tried to run him out. I'm talking about Nelson Aguilar. How about that out there?
I mean, Nelson's got tremendous talent. Obviously, he's a former first-round pick. He can do everything you need to do as a receiver. He can run. He runs great routes, except he can't catch the football. And that's a big part of it. And if you can't catch the football consistently, it'll show up there.
You mean, is that sort of like the 76ers' second piece of the process that can't shoot the basketball, which is a big part of the game, unfortunately?
That's a big part of it, yeah. I mean, you're not going to wake up and turn into Chris Carter overnight. So I'm pretty confident that Nelly's going to start dropping the football in Las Vegas.
They're going to have to rely on him, though, because Terrell Williams, their free agent pickup from a year ago, signed that 4-year, $44 million deal, now has a torn labrum, but he says he's going to try to play through it. Remember, he had the plantar fasciitis earlier that he got over and played well last year for the Raiders. So, I mean, they do have a bunch of receivers.
Yeah, and I guarantee you the Raiders are going to be intrigued because they're going to see him. They're going to see him get separation on corners, and they're going to say, oh, wow, look at the way he can run. And they're going to say, hey, we got something here. And then Sunday's going to show up game day and going to drop the football.
How do you know? But they do have Henry Ruggs, the 12th pick in the draft that
from
they
Alabama.
took. And then they took Brian Edwards in the 3rd round. So they've got a bunch of receivers out in the camp.
Well, it's not a small sample size at this point. You say to yourself, okay, there are guys, I just mentioned one, Brandon Graham, who turned the corner, who performed very poorly. So it's not like anybody, it hasn't clicked for him. But you're talking 5 years with Nelson Aguilar consistently, even in his best season when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and he played very well in the actual Super Bowl. He dropped the football that year as well. People just forget about it because they like the end result.
That's why you can't go after Pac-12 guys. That's the problem with the Eagles. They love those Pac-12 guys that nobody sees except the gamblers who are up late at night on a Saturday night watching Pac-12 games that nobody cares about.
There are good players from the Pac-12.
I know. I'm just kidding. The Eagles don't seem to have – the only guys in the Pac-12 who turn out to be really, really great players, Harry?
Which ones?
They're not corners. Because you look around the league. How many great corners, other than, Palomalu, Stanford tight ends? Those are the best players in the Pac-12.
Tight end U.
Yeah. It is tight end U.
Stanford or
Iowa
would be tight end U.
Iowa too.
Throw them in there.
Hey, John, your buddy Nigel Bradham is on the street again. Is there any thought to the Eagles bringing him back because they are needy at that position?
No, Nigel burned that bridge last year. I think I mentioned on the show he did a couple weird things. That final preseason game, he just didn't show up for the team bus to go up to MetLife Stadium. Didn't call anybody, didn't tell anyone. Just didn't show up.
Well,
and then
it's
later
just
in the season,
I mean, it's just preseason.
Yeah,
How about the Washington game that clinched the playoff spot?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I was there down there in the Washington Redskin Stadium.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Nigel also, people forget, was hurt. He missed about 4 games, somewhere in that range. And then was coming back, and he had a rehab appointment, and he just didn't show up. And the Eagles were going to cut him And he said, well, I'm going to play, so I decided not to show up, but he didn't tell anybody. And that's like you, Harry, saying, hey, you're not going to show up for the show. You just don't show up. You don't tell anybody. It's not good.
No, I don't do that.
That's not okay.
No, I would not
Nobody
do
does
that.
that.
No.
Nobody does that.
Wait a minute.
Who does that? Who has time?
Exactly.
Now, Tony Bruno, Jeff Bruder on the Twitch stream pointed out that you said the word Redskin, which is accurate.
I'm going to say because he was with the Redskins at the time.
That was last year. That's
exactly
what
right.
it was called.
Yeah.
If the
It's a
players from that
historical
team,
reference.
who was it? The quarterback, remember? Mark Rippon, didn't he say, I won with the Washington
That's
Redskins?
right.
That's
Can't
true.
erase
he's
history.
He's a former Redskin.
And you know what I'm going to call them this year?
I almost said Oakland Raiders when we were talking about
I did too.
Oh, yeah.
But I
did
caught
too.
myself.
I did, but then I started thinking,
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
but I'm not going to call them the Washington football team this year. I'm going to give them my own name, the Washington Deadskins. That's not offensive, is it? Because Deadskins are bad too. You want to exfoliate.
Yeah,
when you go into a spa and you get the loofah,
little lotion,
and you get like that short Filipino woman to climb up on your back and get that loofah and give you the deep
it's the Korean spas.
Koreans, I don't care as long as they're Asian. You get that little Asian woman about 98 pounds gets up there with the loofah, and you're on your face down on that
She
table.
has to be Asian.
Yeah, preferably.
Well, the Korean spa, that's what they're known for, scrubbing off the dead skin.
that right?
Oh, yeah,
it's
and then they wash it down, and you can build another human being with all the
Seriously.
dead skin that comes
that's
off.
disgusting.
Isn't
It's amazing.
Robert Kraft the frequenter of those
Yes, he is. Yes, the Orcas of Asia, baby.
Only 18 days, 21 hours until that first game.
Yes, Harry has a countdown clock on opening day in the National Football League, and I'll ask you the question again, John. Will it happen? Will opening day happen in the NFL?
Of course.
There you go.
We have a less than 1% positivity rate if you take out false positives. Everything's going well, except for the bioreference lab in Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right.
Shut it down.
Shut that lab
Yes.
down. Get the Balco guys in there. They'll clean it up. Clear or the cream?
I think it's in seriously enough, I think it's in a strip mall as well.
Is that right?
It happens.
Well,
you know
of
that.
course.
Got those schifozos up there in North Jersey.
Probably near a jug handle, too.
Exactly. Hey, John, great to talk to you. We'll talk to you later in the week. There he is, John McMullen, baby.
All right, thanks, guys.
Football, yo. Coming back. Open phones, 215-462-TONY, 215-462-8669. And the Strapper line, Harry, 856-818-4045. Any good Strapper line calls, Josie, today?
A new Captain Bob one.
Oh, wow. Captain Bob.
But we are guest-free for a couple of segments, so
Yes.
it'd
Yes,
be
we
a great
are.
time to get in.
Yes. You want to talk? Talk now or forever hold your peace.
Before you play your next round of golf, meet
Roaring round of applause from TMCD 215. Breaking news from Shelev 90278B. Breaking news, Messi to leave Barcelona.
Wow, that's not breaking news. I knew that this morning. What do you think we are? Some slapdicks who just fall in here and don't do show prep?
Now the phones are ringing.
I've been up since 6:30 this morning.
I know. We all have. Boom shakalaka.
I don't call them Oriental, although there is a place at Broad and Moore, Harry, that has been there since I was a child. When you pull out at Broad Street at Moore, going westbound, it's called Oriental, right? It says Oriental food.
Yes, it does.
And that's been Oriental food
forever,
for 50 years at least. But you can't call Oriental rugs anymore. No.
Collins 21 says that Usain Bolt
That's
has
that
a
place
Corona variety.
right on the
Corona
Broad Street,
variety.
you said,
Yeah,
right?
it's called Oriental cuisine. It's been there forever.
Did you guys see that Gardner Minshew story? That he partnered with Bud Light. If you draft Gardner Minshew in the first round of your fantasy
draft.
football draft and you enter hashtag Bud Light sweepstakes, you get a chance to win free beer.
Well, the Browns always have that. Well, that's Jacksonville.
Jacksonville,
I'm saying the Cleveland Browns had that frozen. Remember
yeah.
that beer cooler
Yeah,
with the
that was
chains
locked
around
up,
it?
yeah, and they
we
beat
got
the-
a Rick in Iowa.
They beat the
here.
freaking Jets.
And Jim in Cheltenham. Oh, this is going to be a banner segment.
This is. Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
When we first come back, just do this as soon as the music
I just
comes
did
in.
a whole thing.
No, because that was during the commercial break. this, and you don't have to just talk about you opening up. Yeah. And then I'll do the call to action. I have it separately here.
Call for action.
And then you don't have to do any more live reads until tomorrow. What?
The first Twitch break, right? Because we did one.
Right, I wrote it down. I have it down at what time it was done.
Okay, cool.
So the first Twitch, the live read for Twitch was done in the first break. Then here's when we're going to do the live series, and then we have a Boston Scott Golf live. All the other ones are recorded that should be in there. So
I like the girls
Usain
wearing the
Bolt,
tight pants, though, on the PGA, on the LPGA.
Tony, Usain Bolt attended a birthday party and got...
I know, Robin.
Okay, I'm just...
I'm looking at chicks with tight pants playing golf.
I watch this every week.
I know, but it's on now. There's nothing else on.
I know.
Even though this is last week's tournament, I'm still watching these great asses out there. You know what I'm saying, huh? I'm glad they got rid of those stupid little dress shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I want to see is
great ass. Tony, what's your favorite, body part?
Asses.
The butt.
The butt.
The butt, Bob. Harry, what about you?
That would be in the butt, Bob.
Ass.
Ass as well?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, boobs, not boobs?
Well, but I mean, right now, we're watching golfers. And all we see are the women lining up for putts. And all you see that they're all wearing tight pants now.
I can take them or leave them.
Exactly.
What does she have on the back of her ass?
Some advertising. Is this the chick from Thailand who's got the two little dots on the side of her face? Did you see those?
That's the chick that has the blue outfit on.
She's from Thailand, right?
Yeah.
And she's got two little dots here. I'm sure they're painted in.
Like a tattoo?
Yeah,
I don't know if they're tattoos.
They're painted on, I think. She's the chick who's in second place.
I worked when they had the U.S. Women's Open back at a couple years back at Trump
Not the
National.
ShopRite. You didn't go to the ShopRite LPGA Classic.
Suwanapura. That's
right.
I was working at Trump and I saw Michelle Wee in person. Dude, she's hot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She's statuesque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the whole package, as we like to say.
Yeah, Mike Trout has played 3 playoff games in his career. They got swept by the Royals.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on Sirius XM 211.
Well, you know what I did this morning, Harry Mays? I finally did it. I set up my DraftKings account. After all this time, I'm telling everybody every day.
Well, you had another one, but you hadn't used it for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you created a brand new one as Tony Bruno Show.
Correct. And now I am in the mix, as we like to say. I'm in the hopper, Harry. I could win up to $100 million. Not all of it. I could win $1 million because one lucky winner is going to win $1 million in a cash prize. As DraftKings, the absolute leader in daily fantasy sports, is celebrating the return of sports, giving away $100 million in prizes. You want to claim your share? I did. All you have to do is download the app and you sign up using promo code Bruno. I even used promo code Bruno. And they said, hey, I know that guy. I know him. I know him. Enter DraftKings free football survivor pool. That's what I got. You get to play for free. DraftKings survivor pool. Bam! I already made my first pick in the first game, Harry.
You did?
In the survivor pool.
Oh, okay, for football.
Yes.
All right.
That's how you do it.
I was wondering if you made a pick for tonight's hoop
No, not
action.
yet. You got to do first things first.
All right.
You get a top prize for one lucky winner of $1 million, and you get that. Everybody who signs up gets a free football survivor pool pick. It's an instant bonus prize of at least $5 upon entering. So all you got to do is go to the app. Download the app, Robin.
Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code BRUNO, B-R-U-N-O, to claim your share of $100 million in instant giveaways and put yourself in the running for the $1 million cash top prize. That's promo code BRUNO, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
That's two.
That's
two in an hour.
You know where I heard that the other night?
I don't know why I have such a hard time with eligibility.
What's the live over-under right
I'll
right
tell you
now?
what,
We got live
pace.
action now.
Exactly.
What's the over-under? Now, Robin's had a tough morning now. She's trying to juggle stuff. She's down here last night till midnight. I'm trying to go to bed. I had to get up at 6:30. She's down here at midnight. I'm watching Paranormal caught on camera because I wasn't watching any of that crap sports. I wasn't watching politics or any of that crap. I didn't watch any of the convention last week. I ain't watching any of the convention this week.
Well, the Lakers game was a blowout. They were up 80-51 at halftime.
I turned it off.
Yeah.
And the Lakers are 12.5
Damian
point
Lillard
favorite.
turned it off,
Yes,
too.
he did. And we would like to thank the Portland Trailblazers and all the NBA hype meisters. Oh, Charles Barkley. Come on, Chuck. Didn't he predict a sweep?
He did.
Come
I
on,
don't know
man.
about a sweep.
No, he
Did
said
say
the Portland
sweep?
Trailblazers were going to sweep the Lakers.
Oh, my God.
I hate to do it to you, Chuck.
Listen, if you were tailing Chuck's bets, you've been losing a lot. He's not picked many winners.
No, he's just riling people up. That's what he does. But, man, at least Portland has rioting to go back to. Yeah, I mean, so things they want to get back up there, go out there. It's like 83 consecutive days, Harry, of peaceful protest.
That's
Don't call
action.
them riots. That is action right there. Let's go to Jim in Cheltenham, the official archivist of this program. He must have something racked up on the machine today, Harry. Hey, Jim, how are you, buddy?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Beautiful, man.
The last time I was on here, I promised you a clip. The first time Harry said, "Get out, get out."
Oh, did you find it?
I found it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just amazing.
This is
Wow.
talk about archivist.
Now, what year was
We can't
this?
find something that I asked that was on yesterday's show around here, but Jim can go back decades and find a clip from a show.
What
That wasn't decades.
What
but,
year?
2011.
2011.
That's 9 years ago.
Wow.
We can't even go back 9 hours and find something that I said. That I say, hey, can you go find what I said the other day about the Washington Capitals coach being fired if they don't win Game 5?
That's
Just
good
relax.
math.
Yes. I know. Let's relax.
2011, 9 years ago.
Let's go to the tape. That was easy to figure out even for me.
Well, this is when you were doing the Christmas songs, but
Right.
somebody at the station said, "Let's just keep on doing them with pop songs." So one day you were doing "Bad with the Bone."
Bad to the bone.
Bad to the bone, excuse me.
Yep.
And then Tony, you had the first line, Harry the second line, the contestant had the third line.
This is Singing with the Stu Nods, the Christmas edition.
And then,
that we did.
unfortunately, your executive producer didn't like the way you sang the first line, so he kept running into the studio. And
Now,
all
was
hell
that
broke.
Coach Camille?
Yes, it
And he
was.
comes running in the studio, and all hell broke loose.
Oh,
Okay.
let's go to the tape.
I want to be yours, pretty baby, yours and yours alone. Andy, I want to know, baby, because I'm bad to the bone. Uh-oh. Oh. That's good. That's a good try. Not bad. Wait a minute. Oh, now Coach Camille. Coach Camille, we do not number one out here. We're supposed to go letter of the law, right? Started too early. Oh, no, I didn't start too early. Get out. Get out.
There it is.
I'll get another try. No, I'm sorry. You're out. Good try, though. I'm getting ripped for starting too early. I nailed it. I don't know. He's claiming you started a little early. It sounded fine to me. I nailed it.
There you go, guys.
Oh.
That's where the famous get out came from. And that dirty bastard, that Coach Camille, he's still schlepping over
He's
there,
still
hiding
there.
in his office.
Yep, he's still there.
hiding under his desk. He's been in hiding longer than Joe Biden, for God's sake.
The only difference is nobody cares where he is.
Exactly right about that.
Jeez.
How long are you still in business there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
For the time being.
Hey, Jim, awesome stuff, my friend. Awesome,
And
awesome.
you on vacation next week?
Yes, we'll be gone.
Will you make a pick for the Kentucky Derby before you leave?
Absolutely.
It's Labor Day weekend this year.
I know. I'll do it next week. I'll do it before the race. I won't do it. I'll phone it in on the show.
Oh, you're going to phone
I'll call into my own show.
You're going
How's
to call
that?
Aton?
I'm going to call Aton.
Okay.
Oh, Aton will be here next week.
Aton, and you know who else, Harry?
Trey Thomas.
Trey Thomas and Aton Shander, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
How about that?
Yep.
Awesome, man.
All right,
Good
Jim.
stuff, Jim.
Okay,
Thank
guys,
you,
have a great vacation.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Now, we have time to get Rick, and I don't think so.
No, we don't.
Hey, Rick, we're going to hold Rick over.
We need Rick, though, to start off the second hour
And
of the
because in
program.
our second hour, we're going guest-free.
Correct.
We'll do heavy phones, Harry.
All right.
Not Heavy D and the boys. We may play some of that, too, now that we've found love. What are we going to do with it, Harry?
So, hang on, Rick.
Hang on, Rick. Not Rick Ross. Not Rick Grimes. And not Rick Ross. Did I say Rick Ross already?
Yeah, you did. You did.
I like Rick Ross.
What about
Rick
you guys-
Rubin?
Tony, did you work with Rick Bagg at at WISP or not?
No, I didn't know.
Well, no, he went by the Dick Bag.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Not Rick Fox. It was my neighbor.
Or Rick Roll.
Or Rick Flair. Or Rick James. Or Slick Rick. Or Rick Springfield. Or Ricky James. And all the other Ricks out there. Not Rick Shaw, Harry. Speaking of Orientals. What about Rick Schroeder, Harry? Ricky Schroeder. We're coming back. Phone calls, more fun in the next hour. Stick around.
Before you play your next round of golf, meet
Good job, everybody. Good job stepping up.
I don't know, man. The line's telling me that they're going to get finished tonight. The Utah Jazz are going to finish.
Really? Yeah. How good is Luka Doncic? He's unbelievable. I was arguing with one of my buddies over the weekend about, he's a big Sixers fan, and we were talking about if you take you guys like Booker, Mitchell instead of Simmons. So no way, still developing. These guys, by the time he develops, Embiid is going to be shot. Exactly right.
Well, I got to play this, Rick. Did you see this? This is the big story. Les Bowen. What's his face? Went on Get Out this morning.
Elton Brand?
No, Bruce Bowen.
Oh.
Bruce Bowen with the bow tie went on and ripped.
Ripped who?
He ripped
the Sixers?
Yeah. He was pissed off that they fired Brett Brown.
What did Sean Connery do? Why is he trending?
Sean Connery?
Yeah.
Sean Connery. Hopefully he's okay.
I don't see Sean Connery trending.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's 90.
Is he 90 today?
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude. Bond. Gold Bond.
Yeah.
That's the chick. See, look at her eyes there, Robin. Turn around quickly.
She's got
that Callaway, the clubs I use. What are they called, Harry?
Those are Mavericks.
Mavericks. Mavrx, though. Harry.
Mavrik.
Okay, I knew it was Maverick.
Cheltenham. Official
90 years old.
Yeah.
He ripped Embiid. Bruce Bowen. We'll play it.
Oh, good.
I mean, I assume you guys talked about it, but how about that Tobias Harris? When he went down, I thought that was going to be really bad. He hit his face on the floor. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, man. He
What
went
was that?
down. He went down in the last 5 minutes of that game. He smacked his head on the floor.
Good. Get the hell out. Wake up. Take your money. Get your paycheck and get
Exactly.
the hell out. What's the line, Harry? It's a rock line.
What?
About do this, do that, and then...
Take a shower, hit the weights, get
Yeah,
a clue.
That's right.
Yeah.
One of those great ones. That's
Yeah.
what they should say to Tobias Harris.
Actually, I think Nash used to say that. What was his name? Rick Nash?
Yeah, Rick Nash,
the
the
big,
wrestler.
tall guy. Take a shower, hit the weights. Hit the weights.
Get a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Does Jim from Cheltenham have a Twitter handle?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We got to play this Bruce Bowen, right here. It's right here. It's
No.
on Get Up. Robin, I need to play this
No,
tape.
I'm not. I was
Okay, but I'm trying to get you ready because we're
Rick
coming
still
back.
there?
Which one are we playing?
This one right here.
Rick's
It's from
gone.
Get Up.
God damn it.
Did you send it to me?
Just go to @GetUp ESPN.
Okay,
@GetUp
hang on.
ESPN. And you'll see it. It says Bowen 12 just went off on Joel Embiid after the firing of Brett Brown.
Okay, sorry. Tell me. So
At Get Up.
Now, is the
Yeah.
phone ringing again? Is that
at
or
Get
is-
Up.
ESPN.
At
All one word.
That might be
Get
Rick.
Up ESPN.